Okay, class, this is the continuation sa itong derivative na topic. Now, this is lecture 7. So here, I'm going to discuss the quotient rule, the chain rule, and the general power rule, or basin sa next video na. But anyways, let's just have some example, class, of a specific derivative of the function no, at a certain point, specific point. Okay, so wala man gunta last lecture man to kay nagkuha naman tag mga derivative equations and derivative of a certain function. O karon unsa may implication nila na graphically. So let's have this example. Need to find the derivative of the function f of x is equal to x squared plus 2. At x daw is equal to negative 2, 0, o 2. So first, before ta makakuha og function or derivative of a function at a certain point, guys, we have to get the general equation of the derivative. Diba? That's what we did before. So so para dili mo malibog, class, we're given negative 2, 0, and 2. No? So what we want to get here is the f prime, di ba, the f prime of x. Kung ano sabi niya, the f prime of x is the derivative of the function. Okay? This is the derivative of f of x. Okay? Now, we want to get the derivative of the function at x is equal to negative 2. So all we have to do is get the f prime of negative 2. Okay? And that is not the same with f of negative 2, di ba? This one will be, kini siyang notation ba? This is the value of the function when x is equal to negative 2. And that isn't equal here because kini, this is the value of your derivative at x is equal to negative 2. And gikan siya ani nga equation, class. Okay, so this is not equal. Okay, so mo ang gipangita sa tuwa ang f prime of negative 2, isa pa ang f prime of 0, and the f prime of 2. Okay, mo na itong pangitaon. But first, para makakita ta sa values niya, ato sa unahon og pangitan ng f prime of x. Okay, so katong na-learn na to in the previous lecture or previous video, when you have f of x is equal to x squared plus 2 and you want to get the f prime of x, so sa man atong buhaton, f prime of x is just, now, kani siya, class, there are two terms. So, get the derivative of the first term plus get the derivative of the second term and that's it. Okay? Actually, pwede rin na ako diretsyoon, pero again, para guided ta, atong buhaton na ni class is get the derivative of x squared. Okay? With respect to x, now, basta wala na ako kaya na-reiterate kay x, maganda akong pero may ginagamit. So, by the way, when you get the derivative of a certain function, class, kung sa gani ang iyahang independent variable, mo po na ang imong nasa denominator, no? Meaning, kani siya independent, kani siya independent, imong x. So basically, we are getting the derivative of this function with respect to x. Kay kung ano naman na siya, for example, kung y squared na siya, we want to get the derivative of y squared in terms of x or with respect to x, this will have a different value. Okay? So, nana na siya sa ato ang implicit differentiation. Mga 2 lectures away from this lecture, no? Pero, para lang guided ta, again, getting the derivative of a certain function with respect to its independent variable, mausad na imuhang variable diya, dx. Okay? Kana siya x. Okay, so let's have the second term plus the derivative gyapon na with respect to x ang gyapon na because, again, x man to independent. Derivative sa 2. Okay? So, evaluating or differentiating this, we'll get 2x, right? If you can remember, bring down 2. Dayon, ang imong 2, minusan imong 1. Okay, so that's why na kay 2x raised to the 1 power. Okay? Raised to the first power. Okay. And then, plus the derivative of 2, we know the derivative of a constant function is always going to be 0. So meaning, ato ding f prime of x, class, is 2x. Okay, so this is now our equation or our expression of the derivative of function x. Okay, so after getting the derivative, ayan na din ta makakuha ani nga mga values, class. F prime na dayon, f prime of negative 2 will be ating negative 2 will be substituted here sa ato ang f prime of x. So that would be negative 2 multiplied by negative 2. And that is negative 4. And then we'll have f prime of 0. That is 2 multiplied by 0. Okay, that is 0. And then f prime of 2 will be 2 multiplied by 2 is equal to 4. Okay, again, gikan siya ani. Okay, if you get this value from here, mali na siya. Okay, kani mga good class. Skip na niyo ha kung kasabot na gid mo, pero to those who do not understand yet, ang kaning f of 2, okay, f of negative 2 ha, this is the value of your function. This is kini negative 2 dire, kini negative 2. This is the value of your function at negative 2x. So, kani siya ang y coordinate when your x coordinate is negative 2. That's why kining negative 2 imong i-plug in dira. But kining f prime of negative 2 is the slope, okay? Is the slope of the tangent line that touches your graph at negative 2. Okay? So, tanaw na to class, ang implication ana. Tanaw na to ang negative 2. Negative 2 is here, di ba? And kada siya ang ato ang point. Now, that is 6. Okay? Okay, again, ang negative 2, imong i-plug in diya, that will be, ang value sa imong y will be 6. That's why you have here a coordinate of negative 2, 6. Okay? But, kani mong siya nga value nga negative 1, sabi pasabutaan ni. Actually, if you zoom that, mag-draw ko og kuan class, tangent line no, tangent line. Okay, sabanay. Basta ka, imagine na ninyo nga, kasara na siya ni touch sa imong graph at this particular point. Okay? So, imagine lang ninyo. So, that is the tangent line as a mokay sa class. Okay, so, assuming na lang, be, nakay tangent line dira, no? Di ba ka na ang tangent line nga ni-touch anang nga point, negative 2. Now, the slope daw anang nga tangent line is negative 4. Mo na siya pasabot nga negative 4. Nga namang, negative 4. Well, dili ta ka-check kung mao bagid ang certain value niya class. Pero we have the confidence that we are correct in solving because when you have a line that is inclined in this manner ba, when you have a line that's inclined in this manner, ang slope is negative class, meaning your values are decreasing, no? This negative here implies that the slope is, like, paana siya ba? Paana siya graph, okay? The values are decreasing. Okay? Ato sa ambak sa takaron sa 2. Unsa difference niya? Here is a 2, di ba? And the y value equivalent ana is 6. Okay? So the coordinate ana is 2, 6. Okay? Positive 2, 6. Kani nga coordinate. And the tangent line class ana would be like this. Okay? Imagine lang ninyo. Basta kay, dira na siya na-touch ha. Wala na siya na-touch sa tanong point. Okay? That is a tangent line. No? That touches at this point only. Now, if you have this line, inana nga line nga itsura class, you will have a positive slope. Okay? Positive imong m ana imong slope because the values are increasing. Okay? Ang yung gi-expect nga value nga next value ni ba is increasing. Okay? Increasing in value. So, even though that's sure sa 4, sure na to, no? Theoretically, mathematically, kinasolve mo na to. But, pwede na to ma-check na, okay, ang atong nakuha di ay is positive 4. That is correct. Graphically speaking, we can see that the slope of this tangent line here that touches at this point is positive because it is an increasing value. Increasing value, no? Increasing siya in terms of kanay subayon nimong x value ba? From left to right, magiging, di ba? So, tanaw nimong value niya increasing as opposed to here, kana from left to right mo itong x, no? So nagka-decrease itong value. So the slope will be negative. Now let's go to point 0. So when you have here x is equal to 0, kani siya, but this is the x is equal to 0. The coordinate is 0, 2. Okay? Coordinate of our function. Now what is the slope daw ana now? The slope ana class, the tangent line nga mo touch ana is this horizontal line, correct? Okay? Muna siya ang tangent line, touch ani nga point. Kana lang, isa lang ka point. Okay? Now, the slope of this tangent line class, since this is a horizontal line, unsa gali ang slope sa horizontal line? Di ba that is 0? Okay, wala man siya na incline. Okay? Meaning, wala siya 0 yung steepness, 0 yung slope. Okay? So we are confident that our answer is correct because we got a 0 value. Okay, again, kini nga mga numbers diri, these are not the values of y. Okay, di na siya value sa y, di na siya value sa y. Okay? So these are the slope of your tangent line at this particular point. Okay, muraga, tik-tik lang class ay, pero I think nagsabot naman siguro mo, no? So let's move on to our quotient rule. So we discussed last time the constant rule, and the product rule, and the power rule. So now let's discuss the quotient rule. Okay, so the quotient f divided by g, no, of two differentiable functions, given that this is differentiable, these are functions of x. Okay, is itself differentiable at all values of x for which g of x should not be equal to 0. As long as zero ang imong denominator, because that will become undefined. So basically, class, when you're given one function such that it's a rational function and the numerator is a function of x, could be a function of x, and the denominator could be expressed as a function of x yapon. And dili nimo siya ma-express into the power rule bitaw katong para magamit mo power rule katong x to the n. Batong previous examples kay dapat express nato siya into x to the n. Now there are given functions na dili gini mo express in this way. For example, rational function, okay? So how do you get the derivative of a rational function? So ingani yung formula. Medyo tricky ka pa siya. Actually, mas tricky siya compared sa imong power rule, no? Sa imong product rule. Kaya di siya pwede mabalik kaya naka-minus mo na dira. So, nakoy way to memorize this. I don't know if it will be helpful sa inyo, but you can devise your own method in memorizing, no? So, if you have, again this is a whole function class, no? Given taog, di pa sabot nga naka f of x, naka g of x sa ubos. Ang pasabot lang is, you're given a function, f of x, no? And your numerator here is a function of x, okay? Function of x, and then this one also the numerator, a function of x lang gyapon. Okay, so again, this is a rational function. Yan lang nang gi-consider nga, gistan alone na niya ba nga, ang imong numerator is f of x, and then your denominator is g of x, or both are functions of x, okay? Okay, so how do you get the derivative of a rational function di ay? Okay, so first is copy the denominator, the original function of the denominator, and then get the derivative of the numerator, okay? Minus, magbaylo na po sila karon murag product rule class ba, pero dili siya pwede mabali. Unahon gid nimong nasa ubos nga original, and then get the derivative of the numerator minus, okay, the original function's numerator multiplied by the derivative of the denominator all over is square na nimong ubos. Dali na kayo memorize ng ubos. Pwede na mo makuha na. Wala kayo i-differentiate sa nimong denominator. So, square lang dabalin nimo. Okay? So, kung dali na ninyo memorize, okay na gyapon. But I have ways, even before, even college ko, nadimduman gyapon ako class sa pagabot na ako sa review, pagabot na ako, pag-board na ako, and then until karon mahinduman gyapon ako ng mnemonics. So, ang mnemonics na ko aning is low D high, no? Low D high, no? Minus high D low over low squared. Ano yun naman? Kay low, nasa ubos, D high means getting the derivative o unsay nasa taas, minus high, katong original function sa numerator, D low, derivative of your lower function, over low squared. So basically, low D high minus high D low over low squared. So kana lang. And again, kung makabuhat mo inyong mnemonics, then good for you. So again, given na nga mong denominator is not equal to 0. Okay, so let's have the next example. By the way, nalang ko kuan. If you have a function, before ito mag-answer ani class, na ko na remember, if you have a function of x is equal to 1 over x. Okay? Di ba kini class ma-express na to into x to the n? So that is x to the negative 1. We can use the power rule, di ba? So, f prime of x class would be bring down negative 1, imong x dayon karon, yung exponent is negative 1 minus 1. So that is negative x raised to negative 2. diba? And that is negative 1 over x squared. Actually, if you think about this can be expressed, or the derivative of this function, pwede na ito makuha using the quotient rule. Okay? Such that your first function, or the numerator nimo is a different function of x, and then your denominator is a different function of x. Now let's try to solve this using the quotient rule. Kung pareha ra bagya pag-answer. Okay? So basically, atong buhaton is low, okay? Low, which is x. D high, so multiplied by the derivative of the numerator, okay? Minus high, and then the derivative of your denominator, okay? High D low over low squared, so that is x squared, okay? Such that, again, this is your low and this is your high. So, okay, if we solve this one, the derivative of a constant function class is always equal to 0. So meaning, ma-zero ning whole nga expression, okay? And then the derivative of x class is 1, correct? So that means, this is equal to, i-carry sa niyang negative din, no? Negative 1 over x squared. So that is just the same sa itong nakuha. Using power rule or quotient rule, you will have the same answer. But again, walay mabuti mo. The quotient rule is not contradictory to any rule na atong na-discuss before. Ang ato lang strategy ani class is whichever rule is easier or can be applied, you can use that. Okay, in this case, pwede ang quotient rule, pero basin masayop na kadire somewhere. So it would be better if you can express this into power rule. Ang pinaka simple lang sa approach. And then if dili siya pwede, then okay, basin pwede siya quotient rule. Okay? So again, the rules are not contradictory to each other. Sige, let's have this second example na to. Okay, so kanya akong giingon. 1 over x can be solved, and derivatives of 1 over x can be solved using power rule or quotient rule. But in this case, if you check this is a rational function. It's very difficult. Di lang gali difficult. It's impossible to express it into something like x to the n. Okay? So wala gyud tay laing way ani ka. So this is an example of a function na wala kay laing way to get the derivative except the quotient rule. Okay, so if you get the derivative ani class, atong gamiton ng quotient rule, no? So that would be f prime of x. So follow lang mo ha. This is low d high. Ang first atong term, low d high. So low x squared plus 1. D high, so derivative sa taas. So 5x minus 2. Okay? Minus, di na siya pwede mabaliha kay naka-minus 1. Minus high, 5x minus 2. D low, so derivative of low. So that is x squared plus 1. All over, inya square man mo ang ilalom. Okay, low squared. Okay, so ito pangitaw ng mga derivative class. Differentiate ito nito na pwede ma-differentiate. Okay, so here, differentiating this, of course, you differentiate 5x minus differentiate negative 2. So, diretso na ako class, no? Ano naman the derivative of 5x is 5. Okay? The derivative of negative 2 is 0. Okay, so that is just minus 0. Minus, copy 5x minus 2. And then derivative of x squared, that is 2x. Bring down 2. Yeah, 2 minus 1, x to the 1 na lang. Plus derivative of 1 is equal to 0. All over x squared plus 1. So, pwede sa ninyo expound rin sa ubos guys. Pwede na sa dili, no? Depende lang sa inyo. Kung makita na ito nga, mas-simplify na siya, or wala na siya gamit nga emotion expound, then pwede na dili expound. Okay, let's have the the first term here. This will become, distribute na ako dito ang 5 ha. So, this will become 5x squared plus 5. Okay, mamawala mo na 0 drop. Minus, you have, ako lang na-distribute daan class, kining 2x here. Okay, ma-0 naman na, no? So, distribute natin yung 2x sa 5x. So, minus 2, no? So, this will become 10x squared, okay, minus 4x. Okay, all over x squared plus 1 squared. Okay, so kani class, tao na to mga like terms like terms of 5x squared o 10x squared. So, since negative mo na dira, so ato na i-minus. So, diretso na ito nag-combine class, we will get negative 5x squared plus class because minus niya, minus man So, distribute itong negative diha para mapagawa sa to. Ato lang i-arrange class sa base sa iyang exponent. So, ako lang yung unang sulat ang 4x and then plus 5 all over x squared plus 1 squared. Again, pwede na mo i-expound, pwede na sa dili. Basta dili siya maka-affect sa simplification sa imong equation, then I don't see any problem with that. Okay, so dili naman ni further ma-simplify class. This is now the expression of our derivative of the function. Okay. So, muna nito ang expression. If you're given, again class, katong pala sa itong example kaganina, kung papangitaon mo o, example, given f of x, so papangitaon mo, unsa ang f prime of 0, for example, na. Okay? So, una saan mo pangita ang f prime of x, kana sa, ayan na din mo insert diri ang 0. So, for example, kana itong kwao na f prime of 0. Okay. So, f prime of 0, that is, ang butong kaigo ba? Ito na i-move gamay. Okay, f prime of 0 karon class will be, of course, kani siya, no? Kani itong gamiton. Nya ang mga x, pulihan ito nag 0. So that is negative 5 times 0 squared plus 4 times 0 plus 5 all over 0 squared plus 1 squared. Okay? So kanitanan ma 0 ni siya. 0, 0, yeah, 1 na lang din sa ubos, no? So the answer now, class, will be 5. Okay, so again, this is the value of your slope at the slope of the tangent at this point. So let me try again. Okay, so that's how you get the specific value of your derivative of a function at a certain point. Okay, so daghan pa kay class na daghan pa kaayo kag pwede makakuan dira. Daghan kay sa internet sa book of example. So again, I encourage you to solve as many problems as you can and then compare the answer na lang para maanad gid mo class because there's no other way to embed this in your mind unless magkuan mo, mag-solve gid mo. Hindi pwede di man enough for example nga akong ihatag karon no. So mahurot man pud atong oras so mag-example ko daghan kayo. So, kamo na, ihatag na ko na sa inyo mga. Okay, basta the same rule applies. Okay, let's move on to the chain rule. Sama po ng chain rule. The chain rule basically class is kung tagaan mo ging aning function, ayosan ni huno na aning kining na adire. Okay? Kung tagaan mo aning function, it's very easy to get the derivative, no? Okay? So, taan to class, the y prime ani will be very straightforward. Get the derivative ani plus get the derivative ani. So that would be 2x plus 0. Okay? How about this? Y prime. Derivative of sine x, that is just cosine x. Y prime, the derivative will be 3, ba? 3x as 3 plus 0. Okay? And this one, wala pa na ako na-introduce yung tangent. Later lang ng example. Okay? Kay sine o cosine na maghatag sa inyo. Ano? So again, this one, wala tayo gamit og chain rule. Ano sa po na yung chain rule? Magamit ito ang chain rule class when kanya ang ipanghatag sa tuwang such that dili na to siya ma-express into the power rule or ready siya to solve for the quotient using the quotient rule or whatsoever rule na itong nagian. Okay, for example, kaning x squared plus 1 atong insulate over radical sign. This will dili na ma-apply nga to ang gina-solve class nga get the derivative of x squared and then 1 because there's already a radical sign there. Okay? Dili po na to siya ma-extract in this way because that is not equal to this one. Di ba? Dili mo po na sila equal. Okay? Ang whole radicand nga x squared plus 1, yun, ang nasa sulod. So, what are we gonna do about it? Okay? Later. Ito na yung solve. Next is ang sin x nimo. Sin x is simply cosine x no, when you differentiate it, you get the derivative. Pero sine 6x will have a different value. Dili na siya equal sa imong cosine x. Okay? Dili na siya equal. Sorry. Okay? Dili na siya equal sa imuhang derivative sa imong sine x because sine x and sine 6x are two different functions. Okay? So, how do we go about this? Atong buhaton class napatay next example day. Kaning 3x plus 2. Okay? What if ato siyang gibutangan og exponent nga 5, ang whole ni mga quantity or expression. Dili na po na siya same sa pagkuha na itong derivative. Ani nga magkuha kag 3 derivative sa 3x plus derivative sa 2 because what are you gonna do about the exponent? Okay? This is where the chain rule can be used. It can be applied. Okay? Basically, the chain rule class, if you have a y function, that is a function of, say, a function of u, okay? And u here is equal to g of x, meaning ang sulod ani class is still a function gyapon of x. Okay, so na-learn naman natin, no? This is a composite function. No? Ang y nimo is a composite function. So how do we go about this? How do we get or how do we differentiate this whole thing? Okay. If you want to get the derivative of y with respect to x, all you have to do is first get the derivative of y with respect to u, and then multiply it daw by the derivative of u with respect to y because kung imo na i-multiply class, mura na siya ma-cancel, di ba? And you will have dy over dx. Ato lang gibuak-buak, kumbaga. Okay? So basically, among gibuhat ani is, tara, equivalent niya na is derivative of f composed of g with respect to x is equal to the f prime of gx. Okay? Now, malibog pa mo gamay ani kaya balik-balik mo ng gx dira. Basta, inyo lang buhatan kasi is kini siya is equivalent aning and kini siya g prime of x is equivalent ani. Okay? Sige, let's have an example para maklaro yun ninyo. Napadayon. When applying the chain rule, it is helpful to think of the composite function as having two parts, an inner part and an outer part. Okay? So, kaning inner part diri class, naon mo, pinaka-inner gyud niya ba? Kung sa itong pwede ma-express into u, mo ni mong inner function. So, kani siya, kanang sulod, nasa sulod dira, nga nakapalibog sa ito ang pag-solve or pag-differentiate, mo na itong ilet og u. Okay? So, we let u down. So, meaning, ang y ni mo class, mahimo na lang siyang function of u. Murag ato siyang gibaya siya, gi-trick na to siya gamay. Para makuha na to ang derivative sa f in terms of u and then multiplied it by u prime or the derivative of u in terms of x. Okay? So kani imong inner multiplied by your outer function. Okay? Sorry. Bali. This is your outer function. Okay? Multiplied by your inner. Okay? So tanaw na to. Okay. So kani galit lang siya class. Gi-decompose niya para dili ta malibog unsa na to pag-solve niya ang mga dili kayo na to familiar nga mga functions or wala gi-introduce sa to ang mga functions. Okay, this is your f composed of g. So na kayo 1 over x plus 1. So kaganina atong example ganina ba nga 1 over x. May express man na to in x to the negative 1. Pero this one, di man na to ma-express into x to the n. Okay, x to the n. Okay, kini siya, ang iyang ubos is x plus 1 man. So how do we solve this one? Muna din yung mag-decompose ta. Una niya gi-decompose is that you let u, katong libog na yung mga part class, close now. Katong part nga nakapa-complicate mo na yung i-let of u. Okay? So i-let u na to ni, mahimo na din siyang 1 over u. And this one can be expressed into, kato na din u to the negative 1. And this is familiar sa 2a, di ba? Because this can be, the power rule can be applied. Pero ang atong difference na x to the n manggod to, di ba? Pero wala tayong problema because we are getting the derivative of x to the n with respect to x. This one, we're getting the derivative of u with respect to u. Ana lang. Okay? So, if we get the derivative of u to the -1, kani, with respect to u gihapon. Okay, and then ayan na to siya ibalik sa yung original class. Okay, so magsolve na later. So how about sine 2x? Sine 2x cannot be directly differentiated, no? So atong buhaton is ato sa ni ilet og u kining nakapalibog sa tuwa ba. So gilet u na nato ning 2x. So na-express na nato siya into sine u where pwede na to kaon ang imuhang y prime na class ba. Y prime is just equal to the ay kung kaon na to sorry. Kung kaon na to ang iyahang derivative ba with respect to u sa sine u, that's very easy. That is just equal to cosine u. Okay, applicable naman na siya because the derivative of sine x with respect to x is equal to cosine x. And wala siya contra because we are consistent in our variable here. With respect to x, this is x. This is also x. Same is true here. We are getting the derivative of sine u with respect to u. So that is just equivalent to cosine u. Wala ta na contradict of any rule. Okay, how about the third one? We have 3x squared minus x plus 1. Square root of this whole term. So kung na yung square root dira class, dali ra kayo na makakuha, no? C0 kayo. But since na yung radical sign dira, atong unang buhaton is, of course, i-let na to ni tanan kini na sa sulod. Okay? Let na to tanan. So, we can have this one. Y is equal to square root of u. Where this function can be expressed into u raised to 1/2. Pwede na nato ni makuha ang yang derivative class with respect to u. Okay, pero dili pa, di dyan nagtatapos class. Kaya ato pang kwaon na pod ang derivative sa u na pod karon. Okay, after getting the derivative of this, we get the derivative of this. We multiply it and that's the derivative of the function. Okay, so let's have an example. Sige, we have y is equal to sine 2x. Now, recall, again, nabatay derivative of sine 2x? Wala. Because ang gihatag sa tuwa is, na-introduce ba sa tuwa na nga derivative wala no kay ang gihatag sa tuwa is the derivative of sine x and that is equivalent to cosine x. Okay, so atong buhaton na ni is atong unahon og let ang u. Okay, we let u katong nakapa complicate dia kining 2x kanang 2x. Okay, ang atong goal karon, ang atong goal class in letting an expression sa tong function ba, part of the expression of the function, ilet na to use because we want to rewrite it in a manner nga pwede siya ma-differentiate katong mga sin x, cosine x, x to the n. Okay? Muna itong goal. So para maka-identify ka, unsa akong i-let u ani nga part. Dili po ni mo ma-let u ang sin 2x, magbalik-balik lugar ka. Okay? Part lang sa imong equation or function ng imong i-let u. So meaning this is 2x. Okay? So karon pwede na ito ma-rewrite ang y class nga sin u. Okay? Kay kaning u mo man 2x. Okay? So, same rin siya. Wala ito na usab dira. And then, recall that in getting the y prime, okay, y prime is just dy over dx, di ba? The derivative of y with respect to x. Now, gagamit mo tag chain rule, atong buhaton na is get dy over du. So, kita derivative of y with respect to u multiplied by the derivative of u with respect to x. Okay? So, unahon na ito kuha. Ato sa ning kuha ng class, isa-isahon. So, isa-isa na ito nagkuha. Okay, unahon ito kuha class and dy over du. Okay? Ang y na ito karang nagamiton, ayaw ni. Okay? Kaya itong gamiton. Katong naka-u na siya. Okay, with respect to u man eh. So, if we rewrite that is a derivative, no, with respect to u of sine u. Okay? So, kabalo naman ta, ani. So, meaning this is just cosine u. Okay? Now, ato siya ibalik class. Ang goal na to, nag-let na tag u temporarily. So, after getting the derivative, ato ibalik ang u sa yung original nga equivalent nga katong naka-x. Okay? So, kanila nga panahon class mo, advice ko nga, ibalik mo sa x. Okay? So, that is equals cosine 2x. Okay? And then, atong kaon ang du over dx. Dira lang sana. So, dan sana to dira. Okay? Ang atong u is 2x, di ba? So, that is the derivative of u. Ang u na to class is 2x. Now, the derivative of this with respect to x is equal to 2. Okay? So, kung ato ning i-plug in diri class, ato ning i-plug in diri atong nangakuha class. Kini o, dy over du is kani. Du over dx is kani. Okay? So, multiply na doon na siya class. That would be cosine 2x multiplied by 2. And that is, i-arrange na to, ibutan na to sa una ang 2 class. That is 2 cosine 2x. Okay? So, again, dili nga na ka, kung ato ning gi-follow diretso, ato rang answer is cosine 2x, which is not the final answer. Okay? Multiplyin pa nato siya 2. Okay, so this is now your y prime, or the derivative of sine 2x. Damo, kung maanad mo, Niklas, kid, pwede na ganin mo magmatamata na mo pag-let ninyo sa u. Okay? So, sige, let's have an example. What if we want to get the y prime of 0? Okay, y prime of 0, meaning what is the value of the derivative at x is equal to 0? So, gikan ani atong nakuha class, di ka na po na ito substitute ng 0, no? 2 cosine 2 times 0. Now, cosine of 0 is equal to cosine of 0 is equal to 1. Equal to 1 ba? Cosine of 0. O lagi, equal to 1 siya. Yung x. So, kung equal to 1 na, the answer would be y prime of 0 is just equal to 2. Sige. Ay. Moving on to our second example. Last example na natin for chain rule ni 8. Meron ako foreign class. So, mag-general power rule, tas sa next video na. Okay, let's have the chain rule second example. Sige. In this example, we have y is equal to cx squared minus x plus 1. Okay? So, again, tanaw sa ni muna. Labi, magamitin ko ni power rule, dili. Or magamitan ko ni katong mga na-discuss in the first video, dili. Dili diretso. Okay, kaya na kay radical sign. So, ato sang ilet u ng kalibog-libog ng expression nila, no? So, let's assume u, or let u, kaning 3x squared minus x plus 1. So that your y now would be just simply, sorry, y rin. Y is simply square root of u. Square root of u. And then, we can express it into u raised to 1/2, diba? And we can use the power rule na dayon. So, rewrite lang yapon ako, y prime here is just equal to your dy over dx. Nga equal na siya sa dy over du multiplied by du over dx. Actually, sino na kayo na klase, oh? Ang step ni mo na let u. Okay? So, muna ni mong y. Get the derivative ani multiplied by the derivative ani. Ana na siya ka-simple. Okay. So, ito sang bulag-bulagon or dili din na ito ibulag last. Ito ibulag. Para happy siya. Dili siya magbulag, no? This will be okay, diretso ta para mausa na to ka-line tan by instead of gibulag-bulag na to siya. Okay, dy over du here is the derivative, okay? Okay, d over du, no? D over du. Ang y na to is u to the 1/2. Okay? Multiplied by d over dx. Ang u na to, kaning u dire, kani, is 3x squared minus x plus 1. Okay? Para diretso ba? Isa katanawan lang. Now, the derivative of u raised to 1/2 with respect to u is equal to bring down 1/2. Copy u. Yang 1/2 minusan of 1. Okay? Multiplied by kanisha, get the derivative is sa isa ka term. So, the very easy, that is 6. Din lang ako pa ng class. 6x. Okay? Kaya kaning 2 dire, ma-minus 1 man na. 1 na lang. Minus, derivative of x is 1 or negative 1 for negative x plus 0. Okay. So, kung buhatan ni class is, inaog na ko. Mahimo naman eh siyang, but this will become negative 1/2. So, meaning, na siya sa ubos. So that is 1 over 2 u raised to 1 half. Okay? Multiplied by kining 6x minus 1. Wala naman ng 0. Okay. And then, make sure nga mubalik sa tanang x class ang imong expression. Wala na kay u sa final answer mo. Kaya ang u is just to help you solve or just to help you differentiate. Pero imong final answer, wala na kay u dapat. Naka-x na siya tanan. Okay? So, naman tayo ko, Andre, u pa sa ubos no. So, ato ni Elisan class. This is equivalent to square root of u, di ba? Ato siya ibalik. Ang u nga gilat na to is kaniman. Balik na to siya ani. So that would be 6x minus 1 all over 2 square root of 3x squared minus x plus 1. Okay. So again, because kanisha will be square root of u man ano. And the square root of u is this one. Ato lang siyang ipuli. So this is now your y prime. Okay, ako na siya ni-straight. Okay, so this is now your y prime. So for example, papangitaan mo, okay, what is now the y prime of, ano man, 0 lang yapon para dali, mag-solve test. Y prime of 0. Y prime of 0 is, of course, from your y prime expression, you replace tanang x with 0, no? So that is 6 times 0 minus 1 all over 2 square root of 3 times 0 squared minus 0 plus 1. Okay, so mo sa maning numerator, mahimo lang ni negative 1 all over 0 minus 0 plus 1 minus square root of 1. 1 nagyapon. So, ang mabiling class is 2. So, you will get y prime of 0 that is equal to negative 1 half. Okay, so that's how easy uh, getting the derivative function is using the chain rule and getting the value of a specific value of a derivative of function at a certain point. Okay, so you may ask us before I end this video, no, before tayo general power rules sa next video, ang chain rule, magamit ba siya sa tanan? Actually, the chain rule is the more general. Mo padulong to sa general power rule because the chain rule actually, class, is a general approach. Pwede gani ka mag-chain rule sa imong normal nga function kanang 1 over x or x squared. Pwede ka mag-chain rule ana. Then makita nimo nga ay kani ba imong du over dx ma-1 na siya. Okay, later atong makita sa atong general power rule. But if you want to have a more kanang general approach ba, kining chain rule and the general power rule. Okay, so that ends this video and sige, record na ako later ang general power rule and then I'll have more example. Thank you for watching and listening. I hope you're watching, no, and listening.